Cool. Well, let's talk about this one. So we got Chris is asking us here, any suggestions for mass page site optimization training or best practices? Interested in building HTML mass page affiliate sites where each page would have unique on-page elements, content, header, tags, schema, images, if possible. For off-page, I'm guessing semantic mastery strategies such as syndication networks, stacks, SEO Shield may help with the overall authority of these sites to increase their staying power and help rank for a good amount of long tail keywords, assuming the on-page is correct. So mass page, on-site, off-site is how this breaks down. Marky, you want to I got a couple ideas here, but you want to touch on this?
Well, I know Bradley's doing something with WordPress, with a WordPress plugin.
Yeah.
Except that he is saying that he's interested in HTML. Interesting, you should say that. Because, well, and also the content part, and how to uniqueify, if that's a word. I don't think it's a word, but how to make every page unique, because that's the problem with mass page builds, right? They look so similar to each other that they'll index a whole bunch initially, 15, 20. I've seen over 100,000 pages indexed, and then slowly over time, Google starts to get rid of them from the active index. Why? Because it begins comparing A, B, C, D. And if the pages are too similar, they just drop because it finds a master page that it considers the original copy of the page. And that's the page that will stay on the index, and slowly over time, like in the Land Solutions .network case study, we went from over 15,000 to about 2,000 over time. And that's simply because the content wasn't unique enough. That's a website that's built WordPress on the front end, and at the state and city level, we use something called MPC, the Mass Page Creator. Now, the interesting part of this is that I would say in 2 or 3 weeks, Rob is going to start a mass page creation webinar series in the Heavy Hitter Club. And Rob, if you want to drop the Semantic Mastery affiliate link for that, I mean, Adam, please drop that on the page for the Heavy Hitter Club. Because if you want to learn how, we're going to show you how. We're going to show you how to make the pages more unique. As a matter of fact, we're in the middle of optimizing the content in the Land Solutions Network to make each state page unique. So we're starting out with 50 states, then we're going to take those pages and work through them so that every city page that we're targeting then becomes a unique page. And you can only do that, or the only way that I know how is through Rob's, what Rob uses is not his software, but he's really like close with the developer and can get anything done that we want. And yeah, then we can do titles and we can do descriptions and we can just create different tokens to then begin making each page a little bit different, a little bit more unique, moving the images around, different images, tags, schema, as a matter, and not, please, not just any schema. If you have the same schema as everybody else, then you're just going to be in the mix with everybody else. There's no reason for Google to take you and consider you above anybody else if you're not giving Google a reason. I said this last week. Give Google a reason to take your entity, your site, your project, and rank it above everybody else's. How do we do that? By giving the bot data that it doesn't already have, by giving the bot different data that everyone isn't already giving it. Everyone is using Yoast, for the most part, and then, so everyone using Yoast for schema, how in the hell are you going to become unique? The way that we do it is through custom schema. Schematech is schematic architecture is the course that Rob did just recently on schema. It's phenomenal the way that we do schema, the way that we blueprint it, the way that we identify entities, the way that we reference the nodes. It's just an entirely different ballgame. Nobody else does schema like what Rob is teaching in his course. So how would you do that? That's how you would do it. You have to identify each section of the page that you can change and try to change the elements, try to change the layout, try to not make them all the same. And so the content then has to be different, or it's going to drop off the index. If there's enough uniqueness for the page to stay, then you're on your way, because the schema that you write for it is custom and is therefore going to support all of the work that you've done, and then smashing it with all of the off-page entity work that you'll be doing through the SEO Shield and through link building is just going to prop it up that much more. And we have a few aces in the hole in the Heavy Hitter Club to help you out, to show you how to push even more power into your destination. That's all part of the case study that we're doing in the Heavy Hitter Club through Land Solutions, through the website, or on the website, Land Solutions Network. That's part of the case study. As far as Bradley, I can't speak for what Bradley's doing. I'm not in that group. But I mean, he has talked about what he's doing before. You guys can go and look for what he's doing, or Adam, if you have a link for what he's doing, then please add that, because I mean, a WordPress plugin would also work if you take the trouble to make the pages as unique as possible. Unique meaning that they're different from one another and from every other page on the web. If you're in real estate and you're using like the sell and buy houses fast market, and you're just using OnCarrot, you're screwed, because everybody in that market is using OnCarrot. Why should Google care about yours in OnCarrot, your site, versus anybody else's? So assuming the on page is correct, meaning that you made all of those changes to the HTML document that you're going to serve, then everything else that takes place off page will just help prop it up, push it up, and just keep it up in the top of the rankings.
Cool. Yeah, I just popped a link in there. Chris, if you're watching this, Build with Bradley, I think, was the group that Bradley put together. And one of the ways to get into that was to join the mastermind. If you're interested in that, you can check that out at mastermind.semanticmastery.com. I'm just trying to think. I think the plugin was the Magic Page plugin. And then also Jeremy with Press Advantage is still working on Condis. There's some stuff going on there. So you can find more about this stuff by going back to previous Hump Day Hangouts, like Marco said, and kind of see what's going on there. So that touched on the on page. For the off page, he's saying, should I use the strategies you guys talk about, such as syndication networks, DAX, SEO Shield, with the overall authority and help ranking for a good amount of long tail keywords? Do you think that that's the strategy he should take, Marco?
It's the strategy that anybody should take on any project. It's not just this. Any project needs an entity, needs a clear entity. It needs to be verified, validated, and solidified. Those are the 3 steps. I outlined those about 5 years ago, what the steps are for your entity. This is how long we've been talking about this. People are just now starting to pay attention because Google happened to mention or something, or because people rip our training, people rip our products, and then they sell them for $1.99. And so we've been telling you this. We've been telling you exactly what you have to do for any project. It doesn't matter, local, global, it makes no difference. Work on your entity, work on that content so that you're working on the entities within the content. Custom schema, good, which that's part of good on page, right? Content, schema, tags, I mean, just images, proper images. I'm even going to tell you, entity in the image, supporting entity in the image. iframe, the power of iframes. People ignore the power of iframes. I don't understand why. But yeah, anybody doing this, you need to work on your entity. The way we start is the SEO Power Shield.
Cool. Chris, do you got anything you want to add to this before we move on to the next question?
Yeah, I think Bradley had a lovely working procedure for that, if you know the link for that.
Ooh, I don't. We'll have to.
I'll have a look if I find it.
Okay.